The Dane and Derek Show is an uncensored, unfiltered podcast. Content warnings can be found in the episode description. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dane and Derek Show, live from sunny Los Angeles, brought to you not by In-N-Out.
God, I wish.
I wish.
Wow.
But
I don't think they sponsor anything.
Nope. But as you can see, for the first time, Dane and I are recording.
Yep.
In person.
In person. I am out in LA. Unfortunately, not just to do this. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Other reasons bring me to LA. Mainly being that my partner, Gracie, as you know, her family's all out here.
Right.
So, normally Derek and I kind of make time, but of course, you know, honestly, like we just typically do this, like we hang out, but it's very you and me to turn a hangout into a show.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess that is something we haven't really talked about.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, our whole show is basically us turning our occasional phone calls into a podcast, which partially has to do with like us trying to make it more consistent because
We're pretty bad.
We're busy people.
Yeah.
And if we turn something into work, we're more likely to do it, which maybe that's not a good thing.
Yeah, maybe not.
So, this episode, it feels very much like we're trying to turn our normal hangouts into normal hangouts, like what we would do normally into the show. Like we're kind of doing the same thing again. Like we have food.
Yeah.
We have our normal like get together food.
Yep.
Which is a burger and fries. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, welcome. This is not going to be a usual episode.
Yeah. No. If you don't like the sounds of us eating, I'm
apologize.
So sorry.
Yeah. You're gonna have to put a content warning on this.
Because this is a video episode, and we are eating In-N-Out live on camera. Dane just took a big bite.
I'm so hungry.
So, like,
yeah, if you don't like mouth noises, jump out.
Yeah,
come back
jump
next
out.
week. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, the next episode we're doing is also gonna be here live, so you won't miss out on us being like in the same room.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was just telling Derek, this is like the first time I've been on camera in maybe since Bros of the Realm.
So 2014.
2014.
So it's been 7 years.
God, I feel old.
It's been 7 years. Well,
I did projects with you.
Yes, we've done projects.
But I didn't come back on camera.
Nope.
Weird.
Yeah. Should we remedy that?
I mean, we kind of are, but it's fine. I don't really need to be on camera anymore. That's fine.
It's funny. A lot of people in film school were always like, "Who's that guy you have in your movies? He's so like charismatic and just naturally like gifted at acting."
That's very sweet of them to say, but I deeply disagree.
Well, I think the thing is like, you often just played like a elevated version of yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that because you do it so well, you know?
I mean, it's easier if you're playing yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, the characters were written for me.
Yes.
So like I could like lean into stuff I was already kind of good at. But so here's the thing I did want to. I think we should touch on. Why do we do this? Why do we like? Why is it easier for us to do like work than just like social shit? Because like I love our show, but it's not like huge. It's for me at least way more about like hanging out with you and taking that time than it is to like, you know, whatever, further a career.
Right.
But like even just like the veneer of being like, I'm gonna sit down with Derek to make a show is so much easier than just like, I'll give Derek a call. Or like on this trip, this is like the only not for Gracie's family thing. Like this is the only thing for me I'm doing. But I know for a fact that if we didn't have to like if we hadn't been kind of crunched for episodes, I probably would have just been like, I probably just won't. Right? Like this time is.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is that like there's a part of me that like, as listeners will know, I sometimes like often very frequently super rag on capitalism, but like I'm sitting here like, is this capitalism like super like in our brains being like work projects always more important, always take precedent? Like you can always find time to do a little work.
Right. You can always find time to do a little bit of work.
It's much harder to find a little time for your friends.
Yes.
And like I feel like we're exploiting this like almost kind of like a silly like life hack of like where we've taken this weird like thing in our brains to that like you're putting French fries on your burger. What a brilliant idea.
Yeah. Would you like some of my fries to put on your burger?
No. I've already got enough.
I also realized we don't have ketchup. Would you like ketchup?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you though.
Cool.
We've kind of hacked this part of our brains to like trick ourselves into hanging out more
Yeah.
and keeping in touch better. But like why do you think that is?
I think for me, it comes down to a lot of anxiety. Like if we're hanging out with people and there's like nothing and there's like no plan, I get really anxious.
Ooh.
Because if there's no plan, then what does that mean? Like who's coordinating what? Where are we gonna get food? Who's on hydration watch? Like what social things do we have planned? So there's no room. Like my brain immediately starts to like think through all of those things.
Right.
And then I start to panic, and it becomes a real big like problem. Also, just I think
So like an unstructured hang is hard.
an unstructured hang is hard.
Gotcha.
And whenever they do happen, it's always because like I went into it knowing that that was the plan.
Gotcha.
Like I had to tell myself the plan is to have unstructured hangout time, which is so hard to convince myself to go do because it's just
It's hard to fight the need for a hustle.
yeah, and also just like you and I both growing up, we didn't have a lot of free time. We were always doing things, right?
This is true.
Like between you and swimming and Biff and me and martial arts and Biff and theater and both of us were in band, both of us were making movies. Like we've never not known what it's like to just not do anything. And maybe we have. And maybe that's part of the other reason too, is like we're afraid of going back there. Like I know for me, like I definitely spent one summer just being kind of a basement bum, for lack of a better way to put it. And
Which summer was that?
2017.
That was so middle of college.
Middle of college, yeah.
Did you go home?
I was home.
Oh,
I didn't really see anyone.
Interesting.
I just kind of was bummed, and I was just in my basement doing nothing, and it's because I was burned out, among other things. And I don't really like thinking about having as much unstructured time as I did back then in that basement because, I mean, maybe that's the other thing too, right? Maybe it's because like, I know for me, like I'm motivated by very few things. And so like, it's like, if I want to do something, then I have to do it. And if I say I want to do something and I don't do it, I clearly didn't want to do it. Right. Like,
Sure.
Like, so I guess it's for me, it's like, I want to be.
So do you cancel plans a lot?
I do.
Yeah, same.
I cancel plans a lot. I rearrange plans a lot.
Yeah.
I'm that friend that has to have plans adjusted. That said, I'm not that friend that everyone adjusts plans for and then I cancel. I'm not that friend.
Yes.
And I'm glad I'm not that friend because that would be rough.
That's fair. See, I'm not that. I tend to go through with a lot of shit that I shouldn't. Like I do. I'll say yes to something that I really didn't want to do. I've felt sort of guilty in doing it. Like it's been like a literal life skill I've had to learn in the last couple of years to like say no to some stuff and also be okay with canceling something if I actually need to. Because otherwise I just won't. I will so happily just have a bad time.
Yeah.
And feel stressed out and kind of like pushed to the brink And it's really not good. But yeah, you're talking about how like we both kind of like fill our days. Like that is something that like I'll talk with Gracie a lot about. Like I'll say like, when did my schedule get this full? And she says, I don't know. It's always like this. You always do this. Like I've kind of realized I'm not happy unless I'm busy. Mm-hmm. And the actual thing that I need to do that I've like learned, and this might sound silly, but this is actually like one more reason I'm working on going to law school, is if the main thing in my day is not like fulfilling enough, like if it doesn't, not even like fulfilling, but like challenging enough, like if I don't feel like I've done something in my day, I fill all of my evenings like trying to get that like feeling back, you know?
That's a good way to put it.
So currently in the process of getting to a place where like I feel like I've done enough in a day that my evening can be not air quotes like a productive something or other.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It is kind of weird to kind of like have that like feeling that work of any kind always takes precedence. Mm-hmm. It's I think it's overvalued in just like our society.
Yeah.
Wow, I inhaled that. Holy shit.
Yep. Do you want a round two?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta. So, fun fact to catch up on.
Yeah.
Is I recently have some like. Did I tell you that I have like a medical thing right now?
You mentioned you had a medical thing you were dealing with.
Yeah. So the medical thing I'm dealing with is like high triglycerides, which means that just like basically sugars, carbohydrates trapped in my blood, can't get them out. Mm-hmm. Long term, bad for your heart. Short term, you know, like I'm not gonna die tomorrow. Not by that at least.
Right.
Wow, that was morbid. Whoops. Anyways, all I mean to say is that like I have to count calories. I'm like intermittent fasting. And I'm like slowly moving towards like a keto style diet. So like this is a little over half all the food I will eat today. Mm-hmm. And I got my carbs. So like the funny thing, like you offer me like extra fries and stuff, and I'm like, I can't. I'm like sitting here. I'm like, God, I wish. I'm still kind of hungry, but like, I did the calculation. Like, back at Gracie's mom's place, there is a notebook that has pre-written out, because I looked it up beforehand, the calorie count for what I just ate, so I can keep track in my head. It's like crazy. Like, it's turned like eating and cooking into like kind of not a joy anymore. Like, it's turned it into like work, because I'm doing like math before and after I eat.
Yeah.
But, you know, doctor's orders.
Yeah.
So.
No, and I mean, also like too, like intermittent fasting, right? Like we live in a society, like at least here in the U.S., where you can eat whenever you want. Yeah. And that's not necessarily good for you. No. Our bodies, even though we're taught to believe that. Yeah. We should be eating all the time, where we shouldn't necessarily. So. Yeah,
it's I'm slowly adjusting to it. Mm-hmm. I kind of like it in a way. Mm-hmm. It's not like comfortable, but there's like something kind of satisfying about being able to control my body that well. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that like yesterday, Gracie and I went out for breakfast, and during the fast I'm allowed to have like tea and water. We went to this like breakfast place, and Gracie got like a nice breakfast, and I had a cup of tea. And on the one hand, that was like tough. That was like really tough. Like, I never knew I wanted toast that bad in my life. But I was like, I actually am in control of my body. Like, it's not this like I can feel what my body wants, and like how like easy it would be to like succumb to these urges. But there is like a level of like control, and that's very, very interesting to actually have this moment in which I can feel so clearly the sides of like my brain. Like I can feel my brain fighting itself, like two very different parts, right? Like they talk about like your frontal cortex is where like all your like self-control and like all that is. Like I'm like, oh wow, I can like feel it in this moment. So that's like interesting. I'm kind of a fan. I'm a fan. But
yeah, I did keto. I did that when I moved here because my mom mailed me like bulk Costco sardines.
Whoa.
And I was like, okay. Salad's like $2 at the store.
Yeah.
So if I just eat lettuce and sardines every day,
wow,
I will do it. And it's technically keto. And I lost a ton of weight.
Yeah.
And then I subsequently, after that ran out, I switched to a peanut butter and toast diet because that's all they had at the office, because I was living off of food at the office.
Oh dear.
And didn't lose weight, but didn't gain weight.
Yeah. That sounds like it's just like kind of like operating on like a calorie deficit situation there.
Yes, 100%. I used to count calories.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to just see. Now I definitely, a lot of those intermittent fasting things, I don't track it anymore, but I still do it. Like my first meal is usually around noon. Yeah. And my last meal is usually before 8 o'clock. So.
No, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm still in that phase. Like it's still so new. Like that I have to be like tracking it really, really closely.
Yeah.
But like, I'll be honest, like I get hangry so easily that this is like I am such a grump. It's the worst. Like I'm so like I wish I was like I have like some weird like fascination and joy that I'm getting out of the fasting. But I know I'm being a dick the whole time. Like I'm just not happy, you know. So it's getting better, but it's like it is what it is. Yeah. But hold on, I mean. Anyways, I have a question for you, which is we kind of hit on this in the car, but you still are happy in LA. Yeah. You like LA. I do. And I'll just be honest about this. I fucking hate LA. I hate LA so much. Every time I'm here, I get like stressed out. Like if the big city never like works for me, it's like smoggy and like I have like a low grade headache all the while I'm here because of the smog and like air and like stuff. And I don't like drinking the tap water, and the driving anywhere stresses me out. Like you love it here. Yeah. Why?
You know, I mean, I'll tell you this, Dane. If you ever want to figure out if you truly hate LA, you got to live here for at least 18 months. Really? And then you can tell me if you hate it or not.
I get dread in the pit of my stomach when I fly over and I see it. I think I hate it.
It's so here's the thing, like once you forget about the smog, I don't really taste a difference in tap water, so that's no biggie to me. I mean, Colorado, of course, is the best tap water.
It does.
Like, don't even argue anyone out there. Don't argue.
We'll fight you. It's rude. We'll get rude about it.
It's the best tap water. Yeah, so like, I think for me, what made me like and fall in love with LA a bit more was just getting involved in the city itself a bit more. Yeah. Like we were talking about this a little bit, but like I volunteer for an arts program called Tuesday Night Project. And it's like a grassroots Asian American like arts program that we're doing a lot of really cool stuff. We're doing like a care package. Yeah. And we're doing like a workshop series. I'm teaching one on how to be a dungeon master. Nice. Which is pretty cool. And like it's like being involved in like community like that, I think has really helped me find a sort of space in LA that I like. Cause like, I don't know, like you live out here, like in the valley, it's like, what are you gonna do in the valley? It's flat, it's hot, it's suburbia. Yeah. There's malls that are empty. Like, sure, there's Burbank, and Burbank's pretty cool, but Burbank's cool if you work in Burbank. Gotcha. And I don't work in Burbank. I work in Hollywood. You know, nobody really likes Hollywood. Like, nobody wants to be down there. It's, some parts of it are nice, but some, you know, but like, it's crowded, it's cramped. The driving is even worse down there. Driving's worse everywhere because everyone's got somewhere to be, but nobody took 15 minutes to get there. Yeah. Nobody left 5 minutes early to get there. That's just everything in LA. But yeah, I think once you find your spots in LA,
yeah,
I think that like any place,
totally.
But I think like for LA, it's like because like I spend a lot of time in like San Gabriel, because my favorite boba cafe is there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I spend a lot of time in like Little Tokyo because that's where the arts program is.
Yeah,
and I spend a lot of time.
I've actually been to Little Tokyo. I actually quite like that. But so like here's the question. So a lot of what you're saying is it's pretty typical. Like you said, you can anywhere you get, you're not gonna like it until you get enmeshed in the community. But like the thing that I always find that like differentiates between whether you love a place or not is like the overarching energy. And like because here's the thing, I will say I'm like I rag on LA and I rag on I actually rag on Miami and New York in like the exact same way. I hate them all. But the thing is, from the moment you moved out here, like I remember you liked Boston, like you enjoyed your time in Boston, but it wasn't Boston that you seemed to like in the same way. When you moved out here, you like shot up. Like I remember, like you got better. Like literally, I remember the time in this time span between the last time I had seen you at the end of our college years when you were still in Boston to the first time I came out and I saw you in LA, you like literally looked better as like a person. Like you looked more like present and awake and healthier and happier. Like something like literally just about being here works for you. Yeah. And it's just like the only thing I can describe it as is like the energy matches you or something.
Yeah, no, definitely. That definitely is a big part of it. There is an energy and an attitude in LA that meshes with me a lot better than New York or Boston. Yeah. It's like there's like a little bit of it in Colorado. Like I always say, LA is exactly like Colorado, just the mountains are like a half an hour extra drive. You know, it's like it's almost there, right? But it's definitely that energy. I don't necessarily think it's like that hustle energy that we were talking about earlier.
That you can find anywhere.
Yeah, you can find that anywhere. I think it's more of just like there is a relaxedness out here that enables me to be less stressed.
Interesting.
In addition to just like, there's a lot of like pockets of just people holding space for each other out here in LA that I never really found in Boston. I never really found in Colorado. And I mean, I didn't really give New York a chance, so I never really found it in New York. But it's like, you know, those are that I think is like, you know, to what you're saying, like there's an energy that people cultivate here, and that people have been cultivating here that on the outside in you might not know until you're there and you're on the ground. Like I don't know, like I noticed like whenever someone would be like, yeah, like I'm leaving LA because I got scammed by this guy, and I was like, well, why were you like if you're just hanging around like these kinds of people that are like,
if you're digging into, so like we did say like I like you can find the hustle anywhere,
right?
But I will say there is a lot of hustle
yes.
in LA. Like you can like you can go to Omaha and you can find the hustle if you want. But I will say in LA there is a like critical mass of hustle. Yeah. But like, and so like if you live in that, if that's your whole life, no matter what, I mean, you're going to get burned out no matter what you do.
Exactly. And I think like finding it's when you can find like the anti-hustle anti-clubs. You know, like the anti-social social club kind of people that have found a way to, you know, can sustain and do things and not burn out in the city. Right. And that's been like and like I found that those are the people that more or less maintain the flow of energy, whereas like other people just spike it, you know?
Yeah, because like the thing is like, what's the way to put this? So, how am I going to phrase this thought? So, you do need to do some hustle, especially because of the industry you're in. Yeah. So like you do your hustle, and then what do you do when you're done with your hustle? If your social circle is all that, like you're talking about this like anti thing, you need another part of your life. Exactly. You know, and like I think that was the thing that I noticed is that out in Boston in particular, I think it has something to do with just being film school. Like maybe if you'd gone to film school here, it would have happened the exact same way, and you'd like for whatever reason went out to Boston, you're like, wow, this is way better.
No, yeah, exactly.
But it's like you only had the hustle, and you only had the hustle friends because your social circle was film school people.
Exactly.
So by the time you got out here, you were in a place to find the other thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Which looking back, I definitely did not think about it like that. Mm-hmm. I definitely thought about it as like I need to find, I knew I was missing something, and I knew I would need to find a path out here. But now that you mention it, it's funny, like the circle that took me to getting to like the arts program and that kind of last kind of bit and like sort of like all of that, there's like all these people that I met along the way that kind of were all tangentially related to that kind of helped introduce me to like other parts of the city and other things in LA. Yeah. Cause but by the time you visited, I definitely was socializing more. Yeah. I was starting to see the city a bit. Yeah. I was starting to know people in the city. Mm-hmm. And like it's that is the thing, right? It's like you can't be all hustle all the time. No. Counter to what every productivity YouTuber says. Yeah. You can't be all hustle all the time. Hustle is bad. Hustle can be hustle's good when maintained. It's like working out. Yeah. Like you're not just going to go all biceps all day. No. That's how you hurt yourself. Exactly. It's same thing with hustle. You're going to hurt yourself. Like you have to have a little bit of that push within yourself, like when you can to do the thing. Yeah, you need to be able to get up and work, right? Like you need to be able to like do your thing. Like if you are like you or I, where part of what brings you joy and satisfaction in life is making stuff that is not necessarily going to make you money or isn't your like main thing, then you do need some hustle. You need some, and that's not like not the hustle that necessarily gets you like paid, but you do need the thing that like I do, which is like, yes, sit down and write. Yeah, you got to sit down and write today. And but if that's your whole existence, right? Like hustle, I think like there's an association that hustle means moving fast and moving quickly, but hustle doesn't have to be like that. No, hustle can just be showing up. Yeah, it's more of showing up. You got to show up to these things. Mm-hmm. You got to show up to your social life just as much as you show up to your work life, just as much as you show up to like your passion projects. Yeah, and I think that's definitely going all the way back to our issue of combining our social and passion project worlds. Yeah, that's where I struggle the most because I'll notice that like when I'm doing too much, I try to connect my worlds. Yeah. And sometimes that's really bad. Yeah. Because not everybody else wants to be like that. Right. And that's like, that's a really good thing. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a really good thing. No, there's a distinct reason. And sometimes I talk to Gracie about this and like once in a while this makes her sad. And other times like I'm like, no, this is for the best. Which is I tend to not include Gracie in my creative projects. Distinctly because like there's like and it's hard to articulate why. It's not that I like she's an amazing writer actually. She's my best friend. I like spending time with her. It's none of these reasons. But Gracie is a very particular part of my like life and world. And I need that to stay separate. Cuz like honestly she's like my refuge from everything. And if, for example, like with us, like with this, like we're like, yeah, we got to make sure something comes out. Right. If I had to at any point talk to her, like being like, hey, we've got a deadline to meet, that would be something I wouldn't want. That would be like some crossing over that I don't think I would be interested in. In our case, this feels very natural, and there's something oddly like nostalgic about it for me. Yeah, because this is, I mean, we truly became friends through doing stuff like this. So this feels like a natural thing to do, not a like it feels very natural for me to be like sitting here like looking at a camera, with microphones like sitting right here while you and I are catching up. Yeah.
And there are other people who I think that would be with, like our mutual friend Ryan Chen. Like, I swear, he and I had some of our best conversations while one of us was holding like a light reflector and the other was like boom mic.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like I could catch up with him in like a really natural way if he just sort of like stuck those objects in our hands for whatever reason, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that is the thing, right? Like, everyone has their own natural state of being.
Yeah.
And everyone has their own limits for what they can push themselves to do, what they need in their lives, you know, socially, not socially. And I think like the rough answer to whether or not you and I combining work and social things is a bad thing is, well, for us, that's just how
it's kind of a natural thing.
Yeah, it's a natural thing, and that's okay for us.
But it's not okay for every person.
Exactly. And I think gauging that with other people is exactly what people should be doing, right? Because not everybody wants to hustle. Not everybody should hustle. Not everybody can hustle.
And not every moment should be a hustle, right? Like, you gotta
have Ma in life.
Yes, you do. You do have to have Ma in life.
Yeah.
But I think we're out of time on this one.
Yes, we are. So thanks everyone for watching us eat in and out and talk about life and hustling and how Ma and stuff.
We got there. It's pretty normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As usual, you can follow us on social media. At Benig-Aiello, Dane_Fogdall.
Who cares about that anymore?
Who cares about that anymore?
You can find my podcast, Diceology, which is spelled like the science of dice, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify.
Yeah.
And teaser coming soon. There will be a better thing if you actually want to follow what I more personally do. But don't worry about the Twitter anymore.
Okay. I hope it's a website.
Yeah, no, I took your advice.
Wow, Dane took my advice.
I took your advice.
Well, on that, I'm gonna walk away on this victory. So, see you, everybody.
Catch you later.